I didn't even know I had to worry about executive functioning skills. To be honest with you, Nicole, I didn't even know what executive functioning skills were until right this moment. This is a real life conversation I had with a dad who reached out to me to get some help for his fourth grade daughter. He had just discovered that she had been diagnosed with ADHD, and they were requesting that she get some assistance with her executive functioning skills. If you are wondering what executive functioning skills are and we're kind of confused, go ahead and give me a like below. I'm going to go ahead and explain to you. Think of this video as your EF Cliff Notes. We're going to talk about what executive functioning skills are, but more importantly, why you want to know about them. All right, executive functioning skills are a set of skills that occur in the frontal lobe part of your brain, and they are responsible for things like being goal-directed, prioritizing, paying attention, being able to control your emotions, being flexible, right? There are actually 11 of these executive functioning skills. We go into more detail with them in the executive functioning guide that is right here. It's a free resource for you. What I really want to drive home is these executive functioning skills are responsible for how we think and what we do. So wrap your head around that. If we have any weaknesses or struggles, things can get pretty difficult at school, at home. Executive functioning skills really pop up when it comes to academics because academics are constantly measured, right? We're constantly being measured: grades, tests, stats, norms, levels. But executive functioning skills that are messing with your child in the classroom, I can guarantee you are showing up at home, in their social, and in their community. So here's what happens when executive functioning skills aren't working. Things are coming at you from all directions. You can't keep up. Very similar to what's going on with Lucy. Before we go any further, I have to make sure you know this. Warning, red flag. Here's the truth bomb. Executive functioning skills start as early as 6 months. That cute little baby that starts looking at you across the room and is playing peekaboo with you. That's working memory that kicks in as early as 6 months. The not so great news and why we struggle with this so much is executive functioning skills develop. Executive functioning skills develop throughout the childhood, adolescent years, and they continue to develop through your mid-20s. Yes, that's well after high school, well into college, and frankly, for some of us, well in the middle of your adulthood, of your beginning to adulthood. And don't forget this, if you have any neurotypical disorder, diagnosed or undiagnosed, such as ADHD, Asperger's, autism, anything like that, you can add up to 3 years to your development. So now we're pushing into the late 20s. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because so many times we hear they should know how to do this by now, but when we learn about executive functioning skills, we'll be like, that seems to be an organizational problem, and that's something that's developed. So if they don't know it now, it's our job as the awesome adults in the room to put the resources and scaffolds in front of them so that that skill can be what? If I could hear you, I'd be like, what? Developed, right? Because we know this goes on through the 20s. All right, we're gonna get into 3 things you can do to build executive functioning skills. There is gonna be a bonus at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. So we know that executive functioning skills are what help you get things done, right? It controls the way you think and it controls what you do. So one of the things you can do is you can build scaffolding into your child's routine, activities, day. Scaffolding is when we scaffold, we kind of reach up to where the child is so we can help them accomplish the things. Another warning bomb here. This does not mean that we make things so easy for the child that they will never learn how to do whatever the skill is. They will never learn how to be organized. They will never learn how to copy their homework. Scaffolding is a very strategic way that we come in and we help exactly where the child is. And when we come in to help, our goal is to back away little by little so that the child is being successful, and success breeds more success. And not only are they being successful, but they're actually learning those executive functioning skills. So scaffolding is super important, and there's a lot of misconceptions around scaffolding. Oh, we're helping them too much. Oh, they're never going to learn that way. But when it comes to executive functioning skills, there's no other way for them to learn if we don't teach them and build them up little by little. If they don't know the skill and they're over here and not knowing the skill, and we are over here, it's like, well, they're going to figure out on their own. Chances are they're not going to figure out the best, most effective way. And chances are they won't figure it out at all. They'll just keep continuing not to turn in the assignment. They'll keep continuing to forget and lose their water bottles. That's just the way the brain works. And the best way for us to support those executive functioning skills is to change our perspective and start with the scaffolding. Second thing I want us to do is I want us to strategically build in experiences that are going to help them with the skills. So for example, if your child really struggles with organization, but they freaking love Pokemon cards, guess what? We're going to introduce the concept of organization with something that they love and they are so motivated to do. Oh, Nicole, but how is Pokemon cards going to help them organize their index cards for an essay or their index cards for the science test? Well, once they're organizing their Pokemon cards, they're using that muscle that is in charge of organization. Yes, we will have to provide different scaffolding because our science vocabulary cards probably aren't as exciting as Pokemon cards, but this is a great way to provide an experience that starts building the skill and teaching them how to organize themselves. Changing the environment is a great way to fill in the blanks for these executive functioning skills. Putting the backpack by the door every night makes it more of a chance that they're going to know where the backpack is in the morning when it's time to go. Having some communications at school built in is a great way to help assignments not fall through the cracks. But remember, we are not doing it for them because we're being strategic and we have scaffolding in place. So we are building up the skills that they are lacking in. That executive functioning guide is going to help you figure out what skills your child is really good at and what skills you need to focus and what skills you can build in scaffolding, you can build in experiences, and you can change the environment for. This is the one thing I want you to take away. This is why I want you to know about executive functioning skills, and this is why it's so important. Executive functioning skill struggles can look like lazy. It can look like disrespectful. It can look like they don't care. It can look like they're disorganized, like they have better things to do, like they're not paying attention. And when all of those things are what you are seeing, when you are seeing your child that's struggling with executive functioning, it makes it really hard for you to come up with solutions on how to help and with solutions on what resources to bring into the picture, right? So if you get to know executive functioning skills and all of a sudden you're like, hey, it looks like they're having a really hard time being flexible. And you can start, now you have a plethora of solutions on how you can start implementing how to help your child be more flexible, right? But if we're stuck on they're just being stubborn, we cannot change them being stubborn, right? But we can definitely help them learn to be more flexible. So knowing that executive functioning skills are responsible for thinking and doing, and knowing that once you have a great grasp on them, you will have opened the possibilities on how to really help your child. Next thing is you need to learn what skills your child is really good at, because remember, they develop at differently for everybody. So your child is going to be really awesome at some skills, and there's going to be some skills that they're really going to need to focus on, and then you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Just the other day, I had a parent meeting, and the mom was looking at this executive functioning guide, the same one that's in the link below. And she's like, oh my goodness, I've been looking at organization skills and I've been helping with organization. But now that I see all the skills, what I really needed to be helping her with was prioritizing what was important. So I cannot reiterate how important it is for you to know your child's executive functioning fingerprint, so to say, their strengths and the areas you need to focus. This executive functioning strengths video is going to help you do just that, along with the executive functioning guide that's in the link below this video.